Have you ever felt so shattered, so completely broken, that it seemed nothing could ever put the pieces back together? You wake up one morning and the world feels heavier than the day before. The smile you wore yesterday feels fake today. People tell you it will get better, but deep down you're asking yourself how. How could it ever get better? Life has a way of testing us in ways we never expected. Sometimes it's not just a setback, it's a storm that rips through your life and leaves you questioning everything you thought you knew about yourself. Maybe it's the loss of someone you loved dearly, the failure of something you poured your heart into, or the betrayal of someone you trusted. You feel small, insignificant, like the universe has turned against you. But I want you to pause for a moment and really listen to this. What if I told you that this breaking, this pain, this emptiness is not the end of your story? What if I told you that every heartbreak, every failure, every tear that stains your pillow is part of a divine plan to rebuild you stronger, wiser, and more resilient than you ever imagined? Yes, Allah sees your struggle. Allah feels your pain. And Allah doesn't break you for the sake of breaking you. He breaks you so that He can rebuild you into someone who can stand taller than ever before. Someone whose strength comes not from the world, but from the one who created the world. So today, let's explore together what it truly means to rise from the ashes, not just as someone who survived, but as someone who thrives, guided by faith, hope, and unwavering trust in Allah's wisdom. Many of us fear being broken. We think that if life shatters us, we have failed. We think that when we lose control, when everything we worked for crumbles before our eyes, it is the end of the story. But the truth is far from that. Brokenness is not the end. It is the beginning. It is the moment when life, in all its divine wisdom, begins to shape you into someone stronger, someone wiser. Someone who will one day look back and see that the very moments that seemed unbearable were actually the steps that elevated you to greatness. Think about the potter who shapes clay. If the clay is left untouched, it will remain ordinary, plain, and lifeless. But the potter, with careful hands, presses, molds, and sometimes even breaks it to refine it. The cracks are not a failure, they are a necessary part of the process. Each crack allows the pot to hold water, to fulfill the purpose it was created for. In the same way, when life breaks you, when heartbreak pierces your soul, or failure shakes your foundation, it is not punishment, it is preparation. It is Allah's way of shaping you, molding you into someone who will be able to hold the blessings meant for you. When you feel broken, you may ask, why me? Why now? You may feel alone, abandoned, or betrayed. And it is okay to feel that way. Pain is real, grief is real, but do not let your brokenness define you. The cracks in your heart are not there to show the world your weakness. They are there to show Allah your resilience. They are there to remind you that even in your most fragile state, you are being rebuilt. Remember, some of the most beautiful things in life come from brokenness. A diamond is nothing more than carbon subjected to extreme pressure over time. The pressure does not destroy it. It transforms it into something rare, strong, and beautiful. Your trials and tribulations, no matter how painful, have the power to transform you too. They are refining your character, strengthening your heart, and deepening your faith. The person you were before the storm is not the person who will emerge after it. You will emerge stronger, wiser, and more connected to Allah than ever before. It is in our broken moments that we discover our true capacity for patience, for prayer, for hope. When everything else seems to fail, when friends turn away or plans fall apart, we are forced to turn inward and upward, to rely on the one who never fails. This is where true strength is born. This is where we begin to understand that life's purpose is not comfort. It is growth. And growth often comes through discomfort. Growth often comes through the very breaking we fear. So, when life breaks you, do not despair. Do not see your brokenness as the end of your story. See it as a sign that Allah is preparing you for something greater. See it as the first step toward a new beginning, a beginning filled with strength, wisdom, and resilience. Embrace your brokenness, because in the cracks of your heart, Allah is planting the seeds of your greatest potential. And when you rise from the pain, you will not just stand, you will shine. Brokenness is not your failure. It is your doorway. It is the moment when Allah begins to rebuild you, piece by piece, into someone stronger than you ever imagined. And that is a truth worth holding on to, no matter how deep the pain feels today. One of the hardest lessons we face in life is learning to trust the unseen. When everything around us feels uncertain, when the ground beneath our feet seems to shake, we naturally look for answers. We want clarity. We want to know why this is happening, why the pain is so sharp, why the people we trusted, the dreams we nurtured, the plans we made, all seem to crumble in front of us. And it is human to ask these questions. It is human to struggle. But true strength is not found in knowing everything. It is found in trusting someone who knows everything. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, knows what we cannot see. He knows the storms that are meant to teach us, the trials that are meant to refine us, and the heartbreaks that are meant to redirect us. Sometimes we see doors closing, and we feel despair thinking that life has ended for us. But in reality, these closed doors are blessings in disguise. They are protections guiding us away from what is harmful and guiding us toward what is meant for us. The key is to trust, not blindly, but with a heart that seeks understanding and a soul that surrenders to Allah's plan. When life seems unfair, when betrayal cuts deep, or when failure shakes our confidence, we are often forced to confront our lack of control. This confrontation is not meant to punish us. It is meant to teach us reliance. Reliance on Allah, not the world. Reliance on the one who sees the beginning and the end, who knows the outcome of every choice, and who has a plan far greater than anything we can imagine. Consider the stories of those who faced unimaginable trials, the prophets, the righteous, the steadfast believers. They did not always understand the pain they endured. They were abandoned, tested, and misunderstood. Yet, through their trust in Allah, they were guided, strengthened, and ultimately honored. Their lives teach us a simple, yet powerful truth even when we cannot see. Allah's plan is unfolding perfectly. Even when we do not understand, He is working for our good. Trust is not passive. It is not sitting quietly and hoping for the storm to pass. Trust is active. It is praying with sincerity, moving forward with courage, and keeping faith even when the heart is heavy. It is believing that every tear we shed, every heartbreak we endure, and every disappointment we face is part of a divine design to rebuild us into someone stronger than before. Trust is knowing that the broken pieces of today are shaping the masterpiece of tomorrow. When we embrace this trust, fear begins to lose its grip. Doubts start to fade. The uncertainties of life no longer feel like chains holding us down, but like stepping stones guiding us toward a higher purpose. We begin to see that life's challenges are not random. They are intentional. They are lessons wrapped in disguise, shaping our character, strengthening our resilience, and deepening our faith. So, when life breaks you and you cannot see a way forward, remember this: the unseen plan is always better than the plan you can see. The closed doors, the unexpected trials, and the sudden heartbreaks are not punishments, they are divine guidance. Trust Allah in the unseen. Trust that He is rebuilding you. Trust that this moment, no matter how painful, is a necessary step toward your greatest growth. Because when you finally emerge, you will not just be someone who survived, you will be someone who has been forged by faith, strengthened by trials, and guided by the one who knows all. When life breaks you, one of the greatest lessons you can learn is the power of patience. Patience is not just waiting for something to happen. It is how you respond while you wait. It is the strength you display when the storm rages around you, when every plan seems to fail, when the world seems to have turned its back on you. Patience is the quiet power that keeps you grounded, the inner fortitude that allows you to face each moment of pain without losing yourself completely. In moments of hardship, it is natural to want to give up. You want to scream, to escape, to run away from the hurt. You look at the broken pieces of your life and think that maybe surrendering is easier than holding on. But it is in these moments that patience becomes a bridge, the bridge between despair and hope. Patience allows you to endure the pain long enough for Allah's mercy to reach you. It allows you to see that every trial, no matter how heavy, has a purpose, and that nothing lasts forever, not the pain and not the darkness. Patience is not weakness. Many people confuse patience with passivity. They think that if you are patient, you are simply accepting life's circumstances without action. But true patience is active. It is prayer in the night when your heart feels empty. It is seeking guidance when all doors seem closed. It is moving forward even in small steps while trusting that every effort, every tear, every whispered plea is being recorded by Allah. Patience is a form of strength that the world cannot break, a quiet power that grows in the heart even when life tries to crush it. Look at the stories of those who endured unimaginable trials. Think of the prophets, the righteous, and the believers throughout history. They faced loss, betrayal, rejection, and hardship beyond what most of us can imagine. Yet they endured with patience, and through that patience, they were strengthened. Patience does not immediately remove hardship, but it transforms the person who bears it. It teaches endurance, builds resilience, and deepens faith. It shows us that true strength is not in avoiding difficulty, but in rising above it moment by moment, step by step. When life tests you, remember that patience is both a shield and a ladder. It shields your heart from despair by reminding you that this moment is temporary. It lifts you higher by allowing you to endure, reflect, and grow. Every tear shed in patience purifies the heart. Every moment of endurance teaches you courage. Every struggle faced with patience strengthens your connection with Allah, reminding you that you are never alone, even when it feels that way. It is also important to remember that patience works hand in hand with trust. Patience without trust is empty. It is waiting without hope. But when patience is paired with trust in Allah, it becomes a transformative force. It allows you to endure the storm while knowing that the calm will come. It allows you to face heartbreak while believing that joy will return. It allows you to feel broken while knowing that Allah is in the process of rebuilding you stronger and wiser than before. So, when life breaks you, do not rush the healing. Do not despair when the pain seems endless. Embrace patience as your greatest weapon, your closest companion, and your guide through the darkness. Endure, trust, pray, and move forward. Because patience is not just waiting, it is growing, transforming, and preparing you to rise stronger than you ever imagined. When you embrace patience fully, you will discover that even the heaviest storms cannot destroy the heart that trusts, the soul that perseveres, and the spirit that refuses to be defeated. When life breaks you, it opens your eyes in ways comfort never could. Pain has a way of stripping away the distractions, the illusions, and the false securities we cling to. It forces you to confront reality, not the reality you wish for, but the reality you are living. And in that confrontation, something beautiful begins to happen. You begin to notice the small blessings you once took for granted. You begin to appreciate the warmth of the sun on your face, the smile of a friend, the gentle sound of a loved one's voice. Pain teaches gratitude in ways ease never can. When everything falls apart, we realize what is truly valuable. We realize that material wealth, popularity, and worldly approval are temporary, fleeting, and often meaningless in the face of life's trials. What lasts is faith, resilience, and the relationships that are built on sincerity and love. Pain teaches us to cherish these, to recognize their worth, and to hold them closer than ever before. It teaches us that gratitude is not just a feeling. It is a mindset, a way of living, and a source of strength. Sometimes, Allah removes what we cling to because He wants us to cling to Him instead. Sometimes He allows heartbreak, loss, or failure not to punish us, but to redirect us. The things we think define our happiness, the things we think we cannot live without, may in fact be preventing us from experiencing true peace and joy. When these things are taken away, the heart turns inward and upward. We begin to rely on Allah's presence, guidance, and mercy. In that reliance, we find a strength that the world cannot take away, a peace that surpasses understanding, and a clarity that pain alone can bring. Pain also teaches us empathy. When we experience loss or suffering, we understand others in a deeper, more genuine way. We become less judgmental, more compassionate, and more willing to support those who are struggling. Brokenness connects us with humanity, reminding us that we are not alone in our trials and that every person is fighting battles we may not see. In this awareness, our hearts soften and our purpose becomes clearer, not just to survive, but to uplift, to guide, and to inspire others who are walking through their own darkness. Moreover, through pain, we learn to treasure moments of joy in ways we never could before. Happiness is no longer something we take for granted. A simple laugh, a small victory, a moment of connection. All these become precious gems, reminding us that life, despite its hardships, is beautiful. Gratitude transforms our perspective. It allows us to see blessings where before we only saw struggles. It allows us to find hope even when circumstances seem hopeless. And most importantly, it allows us to see that Allah's mercy is always present, even in the midst of our trials. So when life breaks you, remember this: the pain you feel is not just a challenge. It is a teacher. It is shaping your heart, opening your eyes, and preparing you for a life built on faith, gratitude, and deeper appreciation. It is teaching you to see beyond what is temporary and to value what is eternal. Through brokenness, you are learning to treasure what truly matters, to love more deeply, and to live with intention. In your darkest moments, when grief seems endless and hope feels distant, remember that pain has a purpose. It teaches you gratitude, strengthens your heart, and connects you more deeply with Allah and with humanity. And when you rise from the darkness, you will do so not just as someone who survived, but as someone who sees, feels, and appreciates life in a way few ever can. Your brokenness becomes the lens through which you recognize the blessings that surround you. And through that lens, you will shine brighter than ever before. Rebuilding yourself after life breaks you is not just an act of recovery. It is an act of faith. It is a conscious choice to rise above the rubble, to gather the scattered pieces of your life, and to trust that Allah in His infinite wisdom is shaping you into something greater than you ever imagined. Rebuilding is not easy. It is not instant. It requires courage, determination, and the willingness to walk through uncertainty with your heart open and your spirit unwavering. When life shatters you, it is natural to feel defeated. You may feel weak, lost, or unworthy of a brighter future. You may ask yourself, can I really rise again? Can I truly become whole? The answer is yes, but the journey requires effort, patience, and faith. Allah has placed within you a strength you may not even be aware of, a resilience that emerges only when you face the storm and refuse to surrender. Rebuilding begins the moment you decide to rely on that inner strength grounded in trust in Allah's plan. Rebuilding yourself is also about reflection. It is about understanding what broke you, learning from the pain, and identifying what truly matters. The trials that broke your heart are not meaningless. They are lessons disguised as hardship. Perhaps they teach you who you can trust, or reveal your own courage, or show you what dreams are worth pursuing. By reflecting on your experiences, you turn pain into wisdom. You turn brokenness into insight. And with insight comes clarity. And with clarity comes purpose. Faith is the foundation of rebuilding. When you rebuild yourself without faith, you rely only on your own strength, which is limited and vulnerable. But when you rebuild on the foundation of faith, you are anchored in something unshakable. You understand that setbacks are temporary, that hardships are not punishments, and that every tear shed is part of Allah's plan to guide you towards something better. Faith allows you to face uncertainty with courage, knowing that the one who created you knows exactly what you need and when you need it. Action is the next step. Rebuilding is not passive, it is an active process. It means praying when you feel weak, seeking guidance when you feel lost, taking small steps forward even when the path is unclear. It means surrounding yourself with what nurtures your soul, whether that is supportive people, knowledge, or good deeds, and distancing yourself from what drains or distracts you. Rebuilding is daily. It is a conscious choice to rise, to move, to grow, and to trust that each step brings you closer to the person Allah intended you to become. Finally, rebuilding yourself is about transformation. It is about emerging from the ashes not as someone who merely survived, but as someone stronger, wiser, and more resilient than before. Your pain becomes your teacher. Your trials become your tools. Your brokenness becomes the foundation for growth. When Allah rebuilds you, He does not simply restore what was lost. He strengthens you beyond what you thought possible. You become unshakable, not because life has been easy, but because you have faced its storms and chosen faith over fear, action over despair, and trust over doubt. So when life breaks you, remember, rebuilding is your opportunity to rise above the pain, to embrace the lessons, and to trust in Allah's wisdom. It is the ultimate act of faith. The declaration that no matter what has been lost, no matter how deep the hurt, you will rise stronger, more resilient, and more capable than ever before. Rebuilding is not just about returning to who you were. It is about becoming who you were always meant to be, guided, shaped, and strengthened by the one who never abandons you. So when life breaks you, remember this: you are not alone and you are never abandoned. Every heartbreak, every trial, every tear is part of our divine plan to rebuild you stronger, wiser, and more resilient than ever before. Brokenness is not the end. It is the beginning of a journey toward patience, trust, gratitude, and unwavering faith. It is a journey that teaches you the value of life, the strength of your spirit, and the power of trusting in Allah's plan, even when you cannot see the outcome. Your pain is not meaningless. Your struggles are not wasted. They are shaping you, refining you, and preparing you for the blessings and the strength that await you. And when you rise from the darkness, you will not just be someone who survived. You will be someone who thrives, someone who inspires, and someone whose light shines brighter because it has been forged in the fires of hardship. So hold on to your faith. Embrace your brokenness. Trust the unseen plan. Be patient, be grateful, and take action to rebuild yourself every single day. Because when Allah rebuilds you, you will emerge stronger than you ever thought possible, unshakable, unstoppable, and filled with the courage that comes from knowing He is always with you. If this message touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs hope today. And make sure to subscribe to this channel for more reminders that lift your spirit, strengthen your faith, and inspire you to rise above every challenge. Together, let's remind the world that when life breaks us, Allah rebuilds us stronger than ever.